This was Prime Minister Narendra Modi's first interaction with the US President Donald Trump in person. They've of course spoken thrice on the telephone in the past, but this was their first meeting, a very warm reception at the White House. The US President and the First Lady were there. It started with a formal handshake. A warm handshake is how government sources described it initially. It ultimately led to a hug. So what does the body language actually mean? They had a 40-minute one-on-one. After that 40-minute one-on-one, there was also an hour-long delegation level talks. Then they had a meal together. How did this all add up? What does the body language say? Let's take a look.
Both our nations have been struck by the evils of terrorism, and we are both determined to destroy terrorist organizations and the radical ideology that drives them. We will destroy radical Islamic terrorism. Our militaries are working every day to enhance cooperation between our military forces, and next month they will join together with the Japanese Navy to take part in the largest maritime exercise ever conducted in the vast Indian Ocean.
आतंकवाद जैसी वैश्विक चुनौतियों से अपने समाजों की सुरक्षा राष्ट्रपति ट्रंप तथा मेरी टॉप मोस्ट प्राथमिकताओं में से एक है, क्योंकि भारत तथा यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स विश्व की दो विशाल डेमोक्रेसीज का साझा सशक्तिकरण हमारा उद्देश्य है.
During my campaign, I pledged that if elected, India would have a true friend in the White House. And that is now exactly what you have, a true friend. The friendship between the United States and India is built on shared values, including our shared commitment to democracy. Not many people know it, but both American and the Indian Constitution.
मुझे विश्वास है कि मेरा न्यू इंडिया का विजन तथा राष्ट्रपति ट्रंप का मेक अमेरिका ग्रेट अमेरिका के विजन में निहित कन्वर्जेंस हमारे सहयोग के नए आयाम पैदा करेगी. मेरा यह स्पष्ट मत है कि एक मजबूत और सफल अमेरिका में ही भारत का हित है. इसी तरह भारत का विकास और अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर बढ़ती भारत की भूमिका अमेरिका के हित में भी है.
In just 2 weeks, you will begin to implement the largest tax overhaul in your country's history. We're doing that also, by the way, creating great new opportunities for your citizens. You have a big vision for improving infrastructure, and you are fighting government corruption, which is always a grave threat to democracy. Together, our countries can help chart an optimistic path into the future, one that unleashes the power of new technology, new infrastructure, and the enthusiasm and excitement of very hardworking and very dynamic people.
भारत तथा यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स के संबंधों के हर आयाम पर विस्तार से चर्चा की है. दोनों ही देश एक ऐसे बायलैटरल आर्किटेक्चर को लेकर कमिटेड हैं जो हमारी स्ट्रैटेजिक पार्टनरशिप को नई ऊंचाइयों पर ले जाएगा. मंच छोड़ने से पहले मैं आपको सपरिवार भारत यात्रा पर आने के लिए निमंत्रण देता हूं. उम्मीद है कि आप मुझे भारत में अपने स्वागत सत्कार का अवसर प्रदान करेंगे.
So the meeting between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the US President Donald Trump was high on optics, it was high on symbolism, it was also high on the essence. A lot emerged from it. But it started right from the word go. Even before the meeting, Syed Salahuddin was designated a global terrorist. As soon as the Prime Minister reached White House, the US President and the First Lady were there to greet him. This was a departure from protocol. And from that point on, the Prime Minister was made to feel very welcome at the White House. Let's take a look at their body language from the first handshake to the final hug.
It started with a handshake. It culminated in a hug. And then another. And between the two lay an entire gamut of emotions that one could only interpret as remarkable camaraderie for two leaders who have differed on more than one issue in the recent past. At the outset, Modi was a man at ease before the world's most powerful man. Shared a few laughs with POTUS and FLOTUS. Gave the first couple his thumbs up and had an assorted series of other handshakes in the middle too. But look back at 2015, when on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly session in New York, Barack Obama walked up to Modi and gave him a warm hug. Is this the scent of changed dynamics? And this wasn't the only time Obama and Modi were seen clasping each other. So has the bonhomie cooled down just a tad? Do these two friends betray slightly more awkwardness than the good friend Barack and Modi duo? At least they're moving in the right direction. Bureau Report, India Today.
In terms of my description of the atmosphere, the chemistry, in a sense, I think it was probably the fairest words to use are that it was very warm. It was a very open, very cordial. There was a sort of there was a great deal of ease between the President and the Prime Minister. They had, as you would recall, 3 phone calls before the Prime Minister came to US. This was the first time they were actually meeting, but they were really very, very comfortable with each other.
Pawan Chaudhary is a political psychologist and a body language expert. He joins us on the broadcast. Ambassador Shiv Shankar Mukherjee with me on the broadcast, as is R.V. Sarda Prasad with me on the broadcast. But Mr. Chaudhary, I want to come to you first. I want to understand from you, what did you make of the body language and the chemistry of the two world leaders? Go on, Mr. Chaudhary.
So in the beginning, it is a body language of mending fences. As per me, it's a body language where fences are being mended as the meeting starts, as Mr. Modi alights from the car and meets with the President, which to me feels as if both the leaders have sized each other in their telecons and have understood that each will have some strong points to defend, and have also assessed each other's strength. So if you see this body language in the beginning between Mr. Modi and Mr. Trump is that of mending fences. You look at that laughter, you look at that joke cracked, and thereafter this grows. For example, when Mr. Modi is speaking to, is giving his first address before the press, he uses masterfully a sentence which says, where he says that I am extremely grateful to the President of United States of America that in 2014, when he came to India, he praised me and praised my policies, and I cherish those appreciations. So he has kind of put him in a bind, as that means from here on, and he's already signaled that from here on it will be a positive journey together.
Okay, Ambassador Mukherjee. Okay, sir, let's take this step by step. Let's take this step by step. Ambassador Mukherjee, your take on the US First Lady being there to receive Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This wasn't required as per protocol. There wasn't an Indian First Lady there, sir. Or was this?
Well, you know, you can look upon this certainly as a sort of a departure from protocol. You know, protocol offers you various methods of sending signals. Sometimes they are overhyped and the reactions are sometimes you take something which is inadvertent or off the cuff and too much is made of it. But certainly in matters like this, like for instance, when a head of government arrives in India and like Manmohan Singh did in the case of a couple of visitors, when he goes to the airport breaching protocol, it's an indication of the importance that we give to that visit beyond the needs of protocol. And certainly the presence of the First Lady, who has just arrived in the White House incidentally, is, I think, an indication. I mean, look, the right from the word go when the visit started, the actual visit started, there was absolutely no doubt that the American side had decided to give this visit a high visibility and an atmosphere of warmth and cooperation, and were willing to go the extra mile to demonstrate that. And this, I think, was certainly one such method they used to indicate that. The mention by President Trump, for instance, that my daughter has been invited to India and I believe she's accepted it. You know, these are indications of the determination of that side, their determination that we are going to make this a very successful, very friendly visit. We are going to give the impression that it is going to be a very cooperative relationship. It's already a good one and we are going to take it forward. Okay. So yes, I agree with you that this can be interpreted certainly as using protocol to send a positive message.
And the fact that there was a dinner at the White House and the fact that the First Lady sat through this. Pawan Chaudhary, what would you make of, the Prime Minister inviting and linking up even with the next generation, inviting the US President's daughter Ivanka to India, accepting that invitation, then inviting the entire family to come to India? What does that indicate?
So, as I see the body language changes over the course of the visit. In the beginning, it is a body language of rapprochement, of reconciliation, and also surely from our Prime Minister also. And towards the end, after they finish the respectively their addresses, they are even hugging each other, and that hug has been initiated by our Prime Minister but warmly reciprocated by the President, which generally Western men do not hug each other. So I think that it has moved from, the chemistry has improved in that 1.5 hours, and I think that was the objective of the meeting. And the invitation which he has given to the daughter of Donald Trump is also, I think, one more reconciliatory move to move together forwards, forgetting whatever differences of opinion they might have had earlier.
Okay, and the fact, sir, that when the US President and the First Lady took the Prime Minister around White House, it wasn't just restricted to the official part of the White House, also to the residential part of it. So that again an indication that they're taking this relationship on a personal level. Is that an indication?
Oh yes, absolutely. And this has been done in the past. I think Truman did it for Nehru. And I think this is only the second time after the Truman-Nehru one that Trump has done this for. So I certainly think that Trump very much wants to look at India as his major ally in Asia. And there was also that statement that they had made about the joint military exercises, Japan, India and USA in the Indian Ocean. And if you go back to the fulcrum of naval strategy, US naval strategy, it was the great naval strategist Alfred Thayer Mahan of US who said, whoever controls the Indian Ocean controls Asia, and that the Indian Ocean is going to be the ocean of destiny in the 21st century. So I think they're really building on a lot of traditional US naval strategy and looking at India as the naval partner for Asia.
Is this then helping India to project itself as a big power in this region? Pivot to Asia was something that the former US President Barack Obama used to talk about. We all know of the warm hugs shared between Barack Obama and Narendra Modi. Is this regime taking it even further? The handshake, the hug, and then the walk around White House. Now, after delegation level talks, the US President Donald Trump took Prime Minister Narendra Modi on a guided tour of the White House, including the Abraham Lincoln bedroom, where he showed Prime Minister Narendra Modi a copy of President Lincoln's famous address and the desk on which he wrote. The Prime Minister presented a folio containing an original commemorative postal stamp issued by India in 1965 to mark the death centenary of Lincoln. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also presented a wooden chest with intricate inlay pattern, which is a speciality of Hoshiarpur in Punjab. For the First Lady, Prime Minister Narendra Modi presented a hamper which contained traditional handicrafted Himachali silver bracelet, tea and honey from the Kangra Valley, and a hand-woven shawl from Jammu and Kashmir. Ambassador Mukherjee, your take on the gifts and the tour to White House, and not just the official wing but also to the residential quarters, sir.
Well, you know, when you're preparing, I'll tell you from experience of having been part of about a dozen such visits, when the preparations are being made for the visit of the Prime Minister abroad, of you know, the other way around, when dignitaries visiting India, head of state or head of government, I think your viewers would be very, very surprised to know about the extraordinary level of detail to which we go to on everything, including such things as gifts, briefing on a minute-to-minute basis, you know, habits, psychological profiles, you name it. And the attempt is to make sure that just about everything drives home a message, a particular message of friendship or warmth or something to show that we have researched you and we have brought you something that we know you will like. That's to show our regard for you. So, or it may be something that reflects your own country's tradition and culture, and the gifting of which shows that, you know, you want to bring the other side closer. The visit around the White House, for instance, on the American side, certainly is to show, is to create that atmosphere of informality, not just go straight into a, you know, into the Oval Office, sit down on chairs and start spouting policy, but a kind of informal, you know, familial kind of atmosphere, an atmosphere of warmth and of friendship, of informality, and that goes a long way to create that atmosphere that's needed. I mean, I've always said that the most important result of this visit, and exceeds our expectations, is the kind of understanding and chemistry and the rapport established between the two leaders, and these are the ways in which those are enhanced. So I would not dismiss this as just another small pimple.
And Mr. Chaudhary, the chemistry was just right to take the relationship now perhaps to the next level, a very positive road ahead?
Absolutely. If you hear Trump in the beginning, even though Mr. Modi has offered him that we would look forward to your leadership, he has just replied by saying that thank you very much for the military equipment purchase, which was a very transactional, what you have done for me lately kind of an answer or response. Yes. But in the end, when he is speaking about India in his address, he's saying that we are also doing the same things which you are doing, Mr. Prime Minister. We are also bringing a tax reform and so
we are
on.
emulating you in terms of those reforms. Absolutely, sir. To all my guests, many thanks for joining me. But before we take a break, India today spoke to the US President Donald Trump's daughter Ivanka on Prime Minister Narendra Modi's invitation to come to India. Let's take a look. Let's listen in.
Ivanka, how excited are you to go to India?
Very much looking forward to it.
Ivanka, how excited are you to go to India?
Very much looking forward to it.